my God. I'm too old to write my own name.
I'll check again.
Windsor Emergency Services revisited. Do we want to discuss that tonight, or do you still want to think about it? What do you want to do?
Is it up now? It shows that it is.
I don't know if we have any other formulas. I mean, the one we brought up
Seems to.
seemed to work, you know?
But it doesn't solve the problem.
What do you mean it doesn't solve the
It
problem?
doesn't solve the issue, the way I see it, is the current formula has our population as the denominator. We are trying to grow Hillsborough. They are trying to restrict growth in Windsor. So that the ratio between the two towns is going to go larger and larger and larger, which means that Hillsborough's payments will get smaller and smaller and smaller as time goes by. I don't think that's good for long-term Hillsborough, so I think we have to come up with something different. And I said that 2 weeks ago, I said it 4 weeks ago, I feel even more strongly tonight than I did then.
Well, the only other way you could do it is with assessment. I don't know, I mean, you've only got so many formulas you can use. You
Well,
can either
I-
use population or assessment. You have to use something.
But the population of Hillsborough is irrelevant to this. We're selling insurance to them. That's all we're doing. We are saying, we will give you our services, our police services, our fire services for a charge. Isn't that what insurance is? We are selling a product.
Okay.
We are selling our fire department, our police department, and our ambulance services to
Okay.
them for a price.
All right.
So we have to determine how best to charge them. And I don't think the way that formula, if we're both not interested in growing our population, and we thought that our populations would be relatively stagnant, then it would work fine. But that's not the case. We all know Hillsborough's growing, and we hope that it continues to grow. As that happens, that ratio is gonna change, and it's not gonna be in our favor. That's why I suggested, 4 or 6 weeks ago, that we send it to a committee to talk about it, and I still feel.
But two of the people on that committee were involved with making this contract. I don't know.
Okay, well, we can talk. I mean, maybe it'll turn out that it's the same, and maybe I'm wrong, but at least we can talk about it and come up with something different. I have a few ideas, but I'm not willing to share them right now. But then again, that's.
Well, I need to see the numbers, because I can't understand if you're gonna charge them $100,000, $200,000 a year. They're gonna say no,
Well,
and
we're
then
not-
that's good, because then our fire department doesn't have to go there.
Well, we're not gonna be unreasonable. I mean.
Well, I don't think 60,000 is unreasonable
I don't
based
either.
on the population.
I don't either, but there's more than one way to get to $60,000 or $50,000. That doesn't involve the population of Hillsborough.
But if your contract, if you do your due diligence, which we didn't do, and you did the contract every 3 years, then you would know that the population probably is not gonna change that much in 3 years.
I disagree. I think we should at least take the time to look at it. It may turn out that nothing changes, but at least we've taken a look. What's it gonna hurt us? Well, what is it gonna hurt us to have a group of 5 people look at different alternatives for charging Windsor a fair amount of money, so that we ensure that in the future, Hillsborough gets adequate compensation?
Okay.
What does it cost us? It doesn't cost us any, it costs us a little bit of time.
And it doesn't cost us anything for the 3 of us to talk about it and discuss it here. Why do we need a committee?
We agreed 4 weeks ago to form a committee. If you want to talk about it, we can, but I would suggest we earmark a a good amount of time to do it. I don't think we can do it in 5 or 10 minutes.
I don't either. But I don't know why we need to form a committee. I
But
mean, we're the
did-
selectmen.
But we
Yeah.
did, but 3 meetings ago, we formed a committee, there were 5 people on a committee. Laura was supposed to advertise and get people to see if they wanted it for that one did,
But Iris came in and said she was working on some numbers she wanted to bring before the board.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I looked at it and I thought, this is,
Same, she
This is
wanted,
an easy
same as
solution.
whenever any of you say, I wanna talk about that again.
okay, okay, so we never,
I
advertised.
caused
okay.
what?
Okay, no, I'm fine, I don't have a problem with that, I'm just saying that if you wanna talk about it, schedule a meeting and we'll talk about it. I'll present everything I have.
I don't think we need a committee. I think that's our job. I
Yeah.
mean, we're the ones that are supposed to negotiate these things and decide what we
Well,
want to
okay,
do.
if that's fine, then we do
So-
that. But again, we decided 6 weeks ago, we agreed we're gonna have a committee, so I thought that's where we're going with this. First I heard that we weren't going with this was
Last
2
week.
weeks ago when we said that we had this other thing going.
Well, I think we needed to look at all options.
So it's probably going to be not next meeting, because it looks like we're gonna have water and sewer commissioners. The town is gonna be presented with, an award from the EPA. And if the Deering Selectmen, do you want that as a work session? How do you want that? I think it probably should be a regular selectmen's meeting, since,
Yeah,
Yeah,
more likely.
so.
But shouldn't we talk about coming up with right now we have nothing.
for,
For,
For what?
If we have the daring selectmen come here, what are we gonna say to them?
I don't know, you guys.
Well, that's
said you wanted
that's
to
the
be
whole,
hearing.
that's the whole.
That's-
What they're thinking,
I wanna-
what they're thinking.
I wanna
Yeah.
know why they didn't sign the
Jim has
contract.
a lot, and I
If
have
they,
a lot of
if,
history.
well, we already know that, Laura said they don't think it's worth the money. So if they,
But
That's the
how
easy
did-
way out.
That's an easy way out. How did they come to that
Yeah.
conclusion?
but they have a right to their opinion. I think we have to come up with how we're gonna react to their not payment before we just say, okay, again, that's my opinion.
I think Jim has some history that he was here on Parks Board when this was all designed. That maybe that would
Yeah,
explain it better to them.
Okay,
But I'm not saying that you have to, just what he was saying tonight.
right.
I know Iris worked here, but I don't know that you had anything, I think it was.
No,
the Parks
I mean,
Board at that time.
You know, I met with their representative, I didn't meet with the select board, their representative, when it was a 25,000, and maybe, you know, back then, you know, it was sufficient, and we never discussed it again. So now, we're bringing it up again, and it's the same thing with Windsor. We're talking 11 years ago, that it was, or whatever it was, 2011, that we discussed it, and maybe it's our fault for not discussing it again, but to come up with a solution, both of them.
Well, the numbers kept changed, the numbers changed based on the budgets in Windsor.
Oh, in
The
Windsor,
wording of the
yeah.
contract.
I know
didn't
Windsor,
change,
but for recreation, they always,
Oh, Windsor.
you know, always, for Deering, the recreation always stayed 25,000.
Well, that's because I met with Peter Beard's wife
Right, that's who I
and
met
another
with.
gentleman, and we met 3 or 4 times, I think. And they wanted to register their own kids, they wanted to do,
Oh, I
and it was
didn't-
and the gentleman that was there, he didn't show up half the time, but when he did, he was adamant that they needed to register their own kids. And then whatever, it was a whole big back and forth,
When was that?
and I don't remember.
Oh,
That was the first one, and then, was it Llewellyn? Llewellyn?
Yeah,
She and I decided, listen, $25,000 sounded like a reasonable amount, and we go, okay, this is what we're gonna present to the
you were
board.
HYA.
No, I was the selectman secretary, they appointed me to the committee to negotiate
There was.
with
Yeah, it always
Deering.
has been that.
It was, Llewellyn and I and another gentleman.
If this deal had been done in perpetuity, we would still be doing it.
I'm so glad I used that word tonight.
I would just like to know why they think it's a waste of money. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, it's just, go build your own fields, you don't like, you know.
Well, if we're gonna do this, then let's make sure we have all the numbers, what it costs us from JT to maintain those fields for spring baseball,
Yeah.
fall soccer,
Yeah,
and the percentage of Deering kids that are participating versus Hillsborough. So maybe we could negotiate a different number.
Yeah, and maybe we can
Based on-
Andy here. I mean, it's not gonna affect this year if they didn't budget the money.
Right.
right,
But, so it doesn't have to be at the next meeting.
Right.
It could be at a May or June meeting.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay,
so,
well, yeah, we
But
need to find out an answer before July for HYA. Because that's
but
when
Deering
they,
didn't budget the
No, no.
25,000, so.
it's nothing to do with Deering. Deering would be for the next year, but we have to come up with a number in July to tell HYA, are you gonna get charged for the field? Because they've gotta increase, if they increase their
Right.
fees, they have to do it for the soccer season. That's
Right.
after
Yeah.
July.
Right,
But I
I
don't-
was just talking about the meeting with the Deering board.
Right.
That,
Are you saying we need to meet with them first? I don't think we need to meet with HYA before
No.
we meet with Deering.
No,
'cause
no, we
that-
need-
no, we
Okay,
have to meet with Deering
Right.
first.
all right,
but Deering they didn't budget that money this
Right.
year.
I know
So
they didn't
meeting with
budget.
HY, it's
But-
like two separate
Right.
things right now.
Right.
You know,
But if we talk to them and they change their mind, say, okay, next year we're gonna budget this amount for that purpose, then we'll know what to say to HYA.
yeah, because we maybe.
If we know that that money's coming in, we can maybe tell HYA, just off the top of my head, that we'll give you another reprieve until
Okay.
the January, you know?
Yeah.
If that's the case, you know, if we know that Deering's gonna pay, we're not gonna have to have HYA raise their prices to affect the kids this
So,
one year. You know?
okay,
So it
so
can
I'll-
be, you know, down the road, a month or
Well,
whatever.
do a May meeting, May 20th. No, hold on,
Whatever
let me
they
make sure I'm
can make
looking
it.
at the right. 27.
do we know whether that $25,000 was in the budget they passed in March?
Do we know?
Do we know? I mean, it could have been in their budget,
No,
but
so
they
I'm
just refused to pay
assuming
it.
that they didn't because we talked about it before. We talked about it last year.
And they just didn't want to even have it in their budget, they just thought it was.
Well, I shouldn't say it's not in their budget. I assume it's not because they were cutting and cutting and cutting.
Okay.
And if they didn't vote to pay it, why would they put it in their budget?
But
Maybe they.
that happens, you can have it in your budget, but you can refuse to pay.
I agree,
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know why they would
Yeah.
try to save
Yeah.
money if they were gonna
Okay.
put it in their budget.
Can we
You're
get
right.
back to the Windsor thing for a second?
Mhm.
I was just thinking, one of the reasons why you'd want to have the committee look at it is because they could take the time to really delve into the issue and save us a lot of time. Whereas if we do it, we may not have the time to really think about it. That's one of the reasons I form a committee, so that we don't have the time, to delve into it. We can have other people do it and present us their findings, because they don't have the authority to make the decision, but they can make a recommendation based on everything they hear. So that would in fact save us time. Just a thought. But again,
As to speaking to the police department and the fire department,
oh, yeah, it would help to get their input, see what they think. Or do you want to look at the committee in a whole and say, we don't want 5 people, we want 3? I don't care. Whatever we want the 3 of us to do, we do.
well, I can go talk to a fireman, a fire chief and the police chief anytime. I mean, I'm retired, I can,
Well, so can I, but
So-
that's not,
so I don't know.
that's not bouncing ideas off of people and having a meaningful discussion. It's just two people talking. I could call you tonight and talk about it too, even though it's against the law. I could do that. I mean,
No.
you know, but the reason why you have more than two people is to bounce ideas off of, to hopefully come up with the best solution that's available.
As long, my thing is, I would rather be in on the discussion, because my thing is, you bring an idea to me, I may not like that idea. I mean,
Well, yeah, well, you have that, well, then you
Did
can
you
reject.
just volunteer to be the selectman rep on the committee?
Me, no, I don't like committee. My problem is, I don't know what's wrong with the agreement we have now. I mean, to me, it's worded perfectly fine. The only thing we don't like is the calculation.
Exactly.
So if you've got an opinion on a calculation, and I have an opinion on the calculation, then we can decide whose calculation opinion is the best.
If that's what you'd like, we could take the time to do that. I have ideas. I frankly, I think they're better than what we have, but I don't, but that, again, it's not my decision to make. It's our decision to make what we wanna do. I'm just,
I mean, the thing is you know, you're saying that the population of Hillsborough is going to grow. Laura says that we're over 6,000 people,
right,
but we're not using that number because the state says we only have 59 or 56, and that's the number. My thing was, I wanted to use the same information for both towns, rather than relying on them providing us with information. I don't think that's correct if we're using one place to get the numbers and they're using another.
I agree 100%
So
with
that was the first thing. So if you do that, even without doing any of the other cost increases, you've increased their percentage from 2 to 4.
you. I agree with everything you
So-
said.
So,
But it doesn't solve the problem, in my mind.
So
It doesn't solve the problem that Hillsborough is growing and Windsor is not. And Hillsborough is the denominator in the ratio. That means that the percentage is gonna grow smaller
correct.
over time.
So if you had another idea of how that percentage would, the thing is, if you use assessments, then you'd have to go to an independent place to get the numbers.
I wouldn't use assessments.
Okay, then I don't know what you're gonna use.
Well,
That's
you
my
want, we
thing.
can,
That's why I think we need to set aside.
Okay.
I like to hear your ideas, that's my thing.
Okay.
I would rather hear your ideas than have you go to a committee and have all of you talking.
Well, yeah.
But I would like to
Well,
hear it.
yeah, I don't have a problem with that. The only problem I have is that we can take, again, I did put it out that we can take the time to hash things out. Whereas at this meeting, we normally don't take the time. We usually get material that's kind of pre-digested and it's given to us, we discuss it, but we don't get into the, like EDC that we have a lot of in-depth discussions on stuff that we could have here, but we don't because it's more appropriate to have them there than here.
That I think is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You people are trying to do,
Yeah.
this is just one contract.
Well,
if,
but,
Set aside a half an hour.
okay,
Set
we
aside
just
an
spent
hour
almost a half an hour on this.
on our,
I just think it's gonna be,
we
We could
could,
have,
does it make sense to have police chief and fire chief here for that discussion? Would that be helpful?
oh, we
Or-
don't, no, I thought for the committee it would, but we can just do it, the three of us. We wanna take the time, that's fine.
Yeah, we just,
I
you can
think
bring
it's-
us
I
all the
think it's
numbers
for
to
us.
look at,
I'll
and we
just-
can decide.
I will bring you what I think and.
That's
you've got-
what I would like to do,
have-
because
I have 2 or 3 alternatives. and,
Okay.
I will present them.
that's what I would like.
Deering only put in $1.
That's what I would like that. I think this, I feel that this is, I think the selectmen should be doing something other than just showing up at 6 o'clock, running through a piece of paper and running home.
Okay.
That's just me. Sorry, Laura.
Hey, if you wanna do more of the work I do, I'm fine with that. That's good.
I just think that's what we're here for, is this
No,
is something that
No,
the
that's
three of
fine.
us should be
We can do
discussing
that.
and getting.
I don't have a
done.
problem with it.
All right, so if we
So
set
it's going on
aside,
the next agenda, right?
if you've got time, if there's time on the next one. You said we were pretty busy.
Well, we're
at the
not
next
gonna try to
meeting.
meet with Deering now for the next meeting.
Oh,
So
okay.
the commissioners are gonna come in to talk about the long-term
Right.
plan that the
Okay.
board wanted to meet with them on.
Okay,
And, yeah,
okay.
I don't think we should have a next meeting. If the commissioners are here, I think we should plan on taking as long as we
with
have.
the commissioners.
There
No,
could be a long one.
no, I'm talking about Windsor.
No, he doesn't think Windsor should be on the next one because the
Correct,
commissioners are
correct,
coming. Right,
correct. He thinks
I
that
got that.
I just meant some meeting where there isn't a lot of stuff.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
If you think we could fit it in.
I will, no, I will put it on the to-do list for the next available.
Okay.
Don't schedule anything else. We'll just spend the whole night talking about Windsor.
Well, it's good. Well, no, actually, we'll be crunching numbers.
Just, we'll get off of Windsor, so.
Yeah.
How did Deering vote on the police contract?
I just
They
wrote that.
approved it. They approved it.
They approved
They
it, so
approved
that's-
it?
That went on.
Wow.
So that's
Yep.
gonna happen? Okay.
But we have to vote on it as well at some point, don't we?
No, we
No,
already.
we already
agreed to-
did.
Yeah, you agreed to have
We
the
agreed
chief
to
bring
the-
it.
Yeah,
The
the chief,
contract
the
that he
3-year
brought to
cut,
you.
that's what they voted on.
But I didn't think I didn't think we voted, I thought we voted on the 3 or 4 months, but I didn't think we
Yes, but
voted
then-
on.
Until they voted at town meeting.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I didn't think we had voted.
yeah,
on
no, we
Yeah.
did.
That was the.
I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote that down to ask.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find out, well, I didn't have time to find out from anybody.
Even I know they approved it.
I didn't, I
don't have
didn't,
time, I'm not
Yeah,
retired.
I know.
I didn't know either. I wrote it down.
You know,
Um,
but yeah, we approved that, cause the chief came in and gave us a
Yeah, we did,
3-year
yeah.
deal.
Deal.
And we,
Had us look
the
at
only, and we approved the 4-month up until town meeting, and then if Deering agreed to it,
Yeah,
that's what we presented to him. Cause we can't go back and say, Deering, we want more money.
Well,
No.
the-
No,
the
no,
question
I
was-
thought we were gonna get a report as to how the 3 or 4 months worked out financially for us,
no,
you know?
No,
'cause-
we never talked
That
about
was,
that.
no,
I
you
thought
brought
it was-
up a couple times to want to be able to see how this,
How that short-term agreement was gonna
oh,
work.
I didn't hear short term.
Well, it was 4 months, right? That was kind of the trial period.
The increase, right, we've had a contract with them for a couple of years.
Right, but the one that the
increased
chief-
amount was, right.
Yeah, for,
Right,
until
and
April, I
that-
believe.
Right.
Okay,
And this is a better
Well, their town
contract
meeting,
that
right.
works out even better.
well, it's more money. But, I mean,
Um.
how much did it cost? I mean, it would be nice to have something from the chief
I'll have.
to find out how much that actually cost us, those 4 months.
Oh, I'm sure he's got that, I'll have him.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see that, just to know that we,
He
we are-
tracks all of that.
yeah, sure.
I'm not having a good night.
Yes, you are.
Can I,
You just got-
is Associated Electric done?
They took the barrels out.
They did?
That was the, well, they're going to, we signed
Oh,
off on
they,
it.
okay.
There's, I thought the guy was here today, but.
There were a couple of guys there the other day
Friday.
moving the fences around, and somebody's been there today to put, barriers. There's green snake barriers around it,
All the sediment.
sediment stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I just wondered if the barrels were gonna be removed, because
Yes,
they've been there
yeah,
all
and
winter.
those are not toxic,
Oh,
by the
okay.
way.
All
Those
right,
were
that was my other
tested,
thing.
but, yeah,
When is that steel frame and the crane coming down?
I'll have to talk to the highway department.
Oh,
Find out.
hurry.
Mike was thinking that now that the crane is exposed, he may have a use for it at the highway department, if not, we're gonna sell it.
Okay, I thought we already had a buyer, no?
We did, but it
Yeah.
fell
But they
through.
backed out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Talked about that
they
here.
wanted it.
Talked
We talked
that
about
here
it.
as well.
And we still
No, I know
work,
we talk about stuff, but I
No.
don't, I mean, we talk about a lot of
They
stuff.
wanted it
but
taken down, and we said, no, you come take it down, and they said
They said
no.
no.
the, the rest of the cleanup, aren't we, working on a grant for that?
We submitted a brownfields
Good
grant in
brownfields grant.
January, so
Yeah.
now it's just the waiting game. We
Waiting
should
game for
know,
it.
hopefully, this summer,
And that's 3 years, 2 years,
3 years.
3 years, and that's gonna get rid of all the foundations and clean
If we
everything
get
up.
all the money, then yes, 4 years.
It had to be done in 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we
It
have
probably
3
would
years to
be
do
done
it.
quicker.
Do you have a start date on the sidewalk?
Our construction engineer is waiting to hear from the construction company, so that we can have a pre-construction meeting, and then we'll get that schedule. I'll let you know once I know.
Yeah, that's something we can go to?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'd like to be there, yeah. Water and sewer office, how's that coming?
Well, we got a bill,
Got a bill?
so it's coming well.
Okay,
Good.
I've seen some vehicles there, so that's
Yeah.
good.
We got the bill from Brown, so that's all that underneath.
That's who that was, that was
Yeah.
there. I couldn't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a couple.
Yeah,
Do you want to do that first?
I don't care, do you wanna
Okay.
do that?
Well,
Yes,
since
so
we're
first-
talking about, we talked about the Associated Electric site. I was contacted from a representative from Newcom. They're running wires for Comcast right now in the Antrim area. They're staying here in town, the workers are staying here in town, and this project goes till the end of June. And they are wondering if they could park a couple of their bucket trucks overnight in our associated, 171 West Main Street. And I told them I would run it by you, but if the board says yes, I would just enter into an MOU with them, making sure that it just spells out your vehicles are insured, we are not responsible for any damage that it may cause on us, you know. They just need somewhere to park the trucks overnight. And
Yeah.
so I figured since we're
Sure.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with
I
that.
don't have a problem.
And the other thing I have is I have some appointments to committees for the board to make. And Conservation Commission has 3 members plus an alternate. Should we appoint if you're ready? Doug Lisch, that's Lischke, Richard Head, Jim Riddle, they're full members, and John Segedy is an alternate. And those would all be for 3-year terms.
Do you need a motion?
I do. And then we'll do EDC after.
I make a motion to appoint Doug Litchkey, Richard Head, and Jim Riddle as members of the Conservation Commission, and John Segedy as an alternate. Do I have a second? All in
So these are
favor?
reappointments.
Is that all people that are applied, or are there more that applied in that?
Well, I think these people are being reappointed.
Yeah, yeah.
They're already on it. and they're
We
being-
have,
No,
we have
I-
alternate positions.
No, but
open.
those people that were, you advertised for people to, did more people than that list?
No, what we do is we ask committee members first, like usually at a committee meeting, they ask.
If they want to stay on,
Correct.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
And if they say no, then you
Then
go, you
Right,
post it,
right.
right.
Okay. And if more than
And-
one person applies, how do you determine who gets it?
Usually if there's a new person who wants to serve on a committee,
Yeah,
they go to the committee meeting and make sure that
okay.
what it's all about, and they meet them, and then we rarely turn anyone away. We always have,
We usually take the recommendation of the committee.
right.
Okay, so you have the committee vote on it?
I don't know that they take formal votes, but when they meet the,
Okay.
They put the appointments forward.
Okay, because I've
Then
never,
we approve-
I've never
we
experienced
approve.
this in the EDU, that's why.
EDC.
EDC,
Yeah.
right?
So, on the EDC, we have so many openings right now. I know that I'm bringing forward Keith and Richie's name, they both have mentioned that they wanted to. And Keith said, was that in, I don't know that you were there. Because Keith was the representative under the chamber, no longer chamber, he wants to be member at large.
Okay,
Okay, so I made a motion for the Conservation Commission and I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and appoint Keith Cobbett and Rashay Holcomb to the EDC.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. One question on this. When I went on the website, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, last month, I don't know, it had dates on these things. I noticed that when we voted on these people, there were no dates, so we don't vote based on the expiration date, like, they're three-year
Yeah, they're
terms.
three-year terms, right?
So we don't know what,
So these terms are all up.
okay, so they're just
So
appointed for
they'll-
another 3 years?
Yes.
Okay, I get it, okay, thank you.
Usually the dates are on the website.
They're on a website, but we didn't say them here, and I just
Oh,
wondered.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I just wondered,
I'm disappointed for a 3-year term.
Three-year terms.
Three-year term.
okay.
Next. Oh my God, I can't read.
Your hands are gonna shake.
I know, I can sign a check at my house, but I can't sign paperwork
You're
here. I
overstimulated.
don't know what it is. I make a motion to accept the minutes of March 10th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Will it be disruptive if we start breaking down chairs for you while you sign these? Is that all right with you, or?
I think the noise,
So don't.
appreciate it.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of March 23rd. Do I have a second?
The second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I don't say aye.
I don't know why that-
Do you want me to cross it off?
I'll have her print it. I don't know.
It's just the second page. You can print it. Yeah, it's the middle page.
Isn't that weird that the second page?
I have come through
I don't
the yard
know.
today on Jones Road. It's at 2:30. Is that my game camera?
I make a motion to accept the manifest.
You can't show me anything.
Motion to authorize the selectmen to sign the manifest and order the treasurer.
So
Oh,
you-
manifest of April 8th, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I got a copy too. That's why I'm shaking. No, it's.
Oh, I do have another thing while you're doing that. JT is getting together, maybe I said this at the last meeting, with the folks from the school for our YouTube channel. We already have our YouTube channel set up so that we can start in May running on YouTube. Time out. But this doesn't have it, that's what I don't understand, because you set the time. I do 6 to 9.
Is it running now, Keith?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, no,
But I
now,
had
it
to
was
do-
earlier.
Oh,
Yep.
I make a motion to approve the the consent agenda for April 8th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was Nancy.
You guys have done a nice job with your dad's house, cleaning it up. Really nice. Looks really good. Yeah, it was nice to see. It sure did. That was one of those, if I ever wanted to have a ball, I was going to buy that. I'm out of the business.
Oops.
To sell it, it was not.
It wasn't easy. That's
Our realtor had it almost a year. I did have this advertised.
same property across the street from that one.
No, it was pretty good. After we sold the house.
It was good.
Yeah.
The ink telecom.
Sorry, I call it Ankle Avenue. No. 600 feet of center road.
Is that 600?
Pretty much. I've got 400. Right at it. Those were the children. And then Garrett has 3 lots. So it's probably actually over 1,600.
Yeah. I've no desire.
He's gonna try to turn it some of these building. Because each one of those properties is a separate building lot, so you're paying the higher assessment for the first acre on each one of those properties.
So we're current use.
It's not enough for current.
What is that tonight?
Brick house down where the big field is. They own in between me and them. Yes.
So I live here.
2.5 or 5 acre lot.
Your grandkids and great grandkids can track.
They have 180
You
acres.
see the
Oh, mine
history
will
of
be
Brooklyn.
everywhere.
This is it's on map. Actually, if we do that, there's a way. I don't know what it is. I'm not privy to it.
That feels good.
I've just got to
Not at the end of the list. I know, well, then I'll put it up.
Because I think that is for taxes. I want to say it's like $800 if I remember correctly. I have it right here in front of me.
It's not.
No, they're taxed like $100 for that piece. Oh, no, wait.
I get that a lot with this.
Is that new?
No.
There's
You've been waiting for this. I thought you were sending me a signal.
No, it's all this,
I-
it's just, eating and drinking has been, because I can't,
Yeah.
I can't read with my lips.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any muscle memory.
Do you take something for it, or do they
I am
just say?
on more medication, and I have a list of, I mean, I went to the emergency room on Friday night, like a week ago Friday, last Friday. Then Monday I went to see my ophthalmologist from because it affects my eye. And on Tuesday I went to see my primary care physician. So I get like 2 or 3 different drops for the eye, and I get 3 different medications for all of it. It's yeah. So it'll be, at least I'm on the side.
That's right. And you can make jokes, so that's You're not great jokes.
Yeah. Well,
No, you
yeah.
have good ones sometimes.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had to ask, right? We had a lot of requests made tonight. Do we want to handle them tonight, or do we want to talk about it in our next meeting? For us to do stuff? I'm just asking. Because I was writing them down, because these were just, well, that's not a bad idea. That's a good idea, maybe not, but I just want to know how we want to handle that. Because sometimes we just let things slide.
Well, what do you got?
Okay, tax code abbreviation, should we put, I think that's a really good idea to have the general populace be able to see it, so they understand what's going on too. So could we do that? Put it on our website somewhere.
Yeah,
I need to find out where I can get them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Nick knows.
Nick's knows, yeah, he must have all the codes. Put them in the assessing section.
Okay, so we can do that one, I guess.
Yeah.
How about the audits on our website? Could we do that?
Yeah. I think you wrote that down. Yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight is, and it kind of goes along with this that was brought up, is when we had town meeting, we had talked about money that we anticipated getting that we didn't get. Okay, either we didn't get the complete amount, or for some reason we didn't get any of it, I don't know. But one of the things is tax dollars, like property tax dollars. And I remember when I first came on the board here, we had talked about it a bit, but, I quite frankly, I don't remember what happened. But could we get a report that has the tax dollars that are in arrears? I don't necessarily care who it is, I just want a total amount. Because that's money that we anticipated getting that we haven't gotten. And we have to make that up somehow, correct? Because we send out,
We don't, right, so we still collect them. It's just they're in arrears, so we don't make it up on,
the
by
current.
taxing others more.
Correct.
Right,
We,
right.
eventually they either pay or we take their property. But could we have a pandemic create a list of,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
could
she
we
has
have
to
one
run
that
those.
breaks it down by year? The
Yeah,
to-
it's
the
in the, yes.
total dollars and a percentage of what's missing? Like, for instance, if we're supposed to collect easy, $100, we only collect 95, so we're in arrear by 5%. I mean, 5%.
I don't know
Yeah, I
if
don't know.
her report shows the percentage.
Okay, but it shows how much we
Yeah.
should have, and we can figure out the percentage. Okay. So we could we get that maybe like on a quarterly basis? That way we get it, that way we kind of know.
Yeah.
Because,
I don't have access to that, but.
I know she does,
request
you'd
it on
have
a
to make a
quarterly
request for
basis.
her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if that's on.
One of the things that I had wanted, I had a list on my, on this thing, and I'm not gonna go through that because we got, I created another list here that some of it cross-referenced. I was not a big fan of our reassessments either. I think you guys know that because I brought it up a couple of meetings. And do we, how do I put this gently, do we just accept what they did? I mean, there's still a significant amount of chatter going on in town about it. People have talked to me about it. People have said to me, well, my neighbor, this is multiple people, my neighbors were assessed this, and I'm assessed that, and I don't understand why all they are is across the street from me, or this or that. And quite frankly, I don't have an answer because I've run into the same issues on my street when I looked at it. So, do we have any recourse, or do we even just accept it as is?
So it goes to the Department of Revenue, who does testing on the revals. And if they have questions, they bring them up. If not, they do testing. We have what is it called? We have a book of everything that happened for the assessment, the reassessment. And professionals who live this, breathe it, take a look at all of that. And we're not even at 100%. You know, we just got our ratio, it's in 94%, I think. But I think that, and I've said this before, when you talk about percentages or, you know, so they're going to you or they're going on Facebook, but are they coming here and speaking with Nick? Are they coming here and requesting a meeting with Norm? Did they have a meeting?
Well, I tell them, there's nothing that we can do about it.
Well, I don't,
But
is there something that has to be done about it? You know, because is it more, I offered after Nick came, Nick wasn't able to answer certain things, and I offered to bring Norm in, you said you were all set. Because I think there obviously is, you know, and we had someone come in tonight and say, well, you know, there's all these problems, yet are there? You know, I'm not an assessing professional, and whether or not I think, you know, there's neighborhood codes, there's codes, there's values for certain land, and then there's values for backland, and there's, you know, conditions, and there are exemptions, there's this and there's that on certain properties. Until you look in depth at the properties and say, well, why is this? You know, there was one that was brought up, and you brought that one up tonight, that has an active building permit, and whether or not you call something a cottage or a boathouse, but one of the things that was definitely something that got picked up because of the building permit that was brought in was that the mapping company, we've always had this property at an acre. That was from forever.
Yeah.
But if you look at the measurements of the lot, it equals 2.5 acres. And that was caught with this building permit. So that change is made now, and that was brought forward through an email, I think that.
I brought that up also, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's still listed as an acre.
So something like that, yes, do those things happen in all communities? Yes, absolutely, but if it's a matter of what recourse are you talking about?
Well,
Just say throwing away the whole revow and starting over?
That's
Or-
my question. Should we?
I
mean,
think you need to
we-
have solid proof that there's
Yeah.
that you need to spend that money again.
Oh, I agree.
I think that not understanding everything that goes into these valuations, and they have to be, I mean, market value is what gets used. And I understand that, I mean, market values if you're somebody who's had your home and just because people are paying 800,000 for something and then it changes, and you can compare, somebody lives across the street from you, but do you know everything that they're being taxed on, or are you missing something in their home, and how do you prove that? I would just be cautious to say that this valuation is no good.
Well, you're right, we can't, I've never said that.
No.
But
But that
I
was-
do question a lot of it because of my experience, but we, the three of us, have the ultimate responsibility to the town.
Agreed.
And the buck stops here, it doesn't stop anywhere else. It's not the assessor, it's not you, it's us. And if people are disgruntled about something, then it's kind of, should be our responsibility to fix the problem if there's a problem. I'm not sure there is, but it's ultimately our responsibility to fix it if
But
there
it's
is.
ultimately their responsibility also to make sure that they're being taxed on what they have. And if they don't come in and see the assessor, or even come in and get their card so they can see it. I mean, if you look at your card and you don't have, a big addition on it, then you need to tell somebody. But, so they need to take a little bit of responsibility too. They just can't go out and say, well, so-and-so's house is, our houses on my street are almost all the same, because they're all built for the mill. They're all laid
Right.
out exactly the same. But I don't know what somebody's done inside the house to make it any different than
But
mine.
they didn't go inside the houses.
They don't have to.
They don't
go
have
inside.
to.
But how do they know? They look at the shell of the house and say,
Because
this
they
is where.
did go in at one time, and unless you get a building permit to say you changed it.
Correct. They
So,
don't know.
but they're supposed to. That's just like when we had inventories, people would write down on their inventory, well, I painted my house. Okay, so I'd make a whole list of all these changes people said they made to their houses. And they'd go out and look, they didn't paint the house. They put on a whole new addition without a permit. You just
Well, that-
catch what you can.
Yeah, you're gonna catch that as in a drive-by when they go by,
But you
taking
can only
pictures.
catch it, you can only catch it so much.
Right,
But
granted.
the landowner is responsible, and if you think that yours is, you can come in and look at your neighbors
Oh, I
and see
know.
and compare it to
I know.
yours, and if you have a question, you make an appointment with the assessor. I mean,
But do you think
I just-
somebody
I
that
would
went from 250 down to 140 is gonna
Where
complain?
it would start is, somebody says, well, I don't understand why the person across the street is less than me. Then that is something that they should bring forward.
To the,
yeah,
Right.
bring it to the
Yeah.
assessor,
Right.
and use it as a
And then-
comparison to theirs. And ask, why is theirs
I
going
don't-
down and mine
again,
didn't?
this is the first time I go through this.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's an experience, I had thought it would be, I thought it would have calmed down by now. And it's like 4 months into it and there's still a lot of churn. But is
So
that
where
more?
are you seeing the churn? Is that
People-
people are coming to you
People
or?
have asked
on
me, I mean,
Facebook?
I see people, like I play pickleball and someone was saying,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand this. How come this property is valued at this, it's right across the street from mine. Mine went up, his didn't, but he didn't do anything, I didn't do anything. I talked to, but
Yeah,
they're still coming to me and talking to me because in essence, we are responsible for the town. And ultimately, we're responsible for the taxes, the property taxes. It's not, the assessor may have done it, but we hired him. And so ultimately, it's our responsibility, I
So-
think.
what would you like?
I don't know, I'm just asking questions.
No, I know, but because you gotta start somewhere, if you're questioning the revow, what would you like to see happen on this level for the board? And then I can make suggestions as to.
I have never experienced this, I have no frame of reference as to what, well, if you want, I'll think about it. And
No, I
maybe-
mean, I would suggest having, and it's hard to talk about the whole town because you were talking about percentage and that, but maybe have Norm come in. The board will meet Norm at that meeting next Wednesday. we have a non-meeting with our attorney
Yep.
Wednesday. And, or, you know, and he can maybe break some of those questions down for you and
But-
explain, but it's hard if you don't
Okay.
have.
Here's the other thing that's happened that people have complained about. They go and they say, well, I don't agree with the reevaluation, and they go in, and it turns out their taxes went up and didn't go down. And so they've said to me, last time we do that, you know, and that, you know,
Well, if they come in and they're pointing out things that are different.
well, I know, and I don't know,
Yeah,
again, I'm
yeah.
just, you know,
And some
but,
of it-
but sometimes I think, well, they're losing confidence in the town.
You just
You know,
signed
they
off
all-
on a bunch of
True.
them that were approved,
I
you know,
granted, yep.
because they came in or they
Yeah,
filled
I know,
out those.
I'm just telling you what I hear
Yeah.
and what people are talking
That's,
about.
that's been the same thing for
That-
years. I mean,
That's
people-
their recourse,
That's the recourse. I mean, your recourse is to file an abatement.
right.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't like to, I mean, I get it.
Well, then, if they don't want to sign if they don't want to file an abatement, then they're stuck with the assessment they
But if
have.
they feel that it's useless to do it,
Well,
because they don't
that's-
feel they're gonna, I'm just.
And you're right, some people will come in and they'll say, well, I got this, and they go, oh, well, that's not on your card,
Okay.
you know.
But I just want you, I mean, if you're not comfortable and they're coming to you and you're,
Feel like you're in the middle.
well, either you agree with them that things are wrong, how would you, I mean, I can bring Norm in and you can talk to him
Maybe I'll
about
come
those
in to
things.
see Norm myself and just chat with him.
Yeah.
We'll see, let me think about it,
Does Norm come in here regularly, or does he only?
He has been, but he
that's-
doesn't come in
I'll-
each Tuesday and
maybe-
Wednesday.
Hopefully this will pass in a few weeks and then I'll.
Yeah,
we'll
well, let
talk.
me know if when
Yeah.
you're gonna plan on coming in, I'll make sure that he's.
Yeah, he'll here, I'll
He'll be
talk to you
here on a
about it.
Tuesday or
Okay.
Because
Wednesday.
maybe
Yeah.
he is.
Okay, but I
But,
just, you know,
cause it's difficult to, you know, have things thrown out in a public meeting that aren't verified, aren't necessarily, there's no way to say whether or not that's accurate, so it's throwing it out to the public to say, oh,
I agree with you, but I took I gave you some stuff a
right,
few, 2
Right.
months ago. I took the time to compare spreadsheets. I ran a whole bunch of formulas through that,
Yeah.
and I found stuff that I just scratched my head at.
Yeah.
So it's not, if I hadn't done it, I'd say, well, these people are just, but I found it too. I've looked at the data too, so it's not like other people have and I haven't. I have, and I've seen things that I question, just wonder about, and it's just, you know,
But
there's
he's-
more than one. There's a lot of things that I've questioned, but I don't bring it up because, again, first time we go through this. I've never been through this. Maybe I'll be here in 5 years, and when next time we do it, maybe I won't. I don't know, but I'll have more experience.
But
than-
Right, but
I
you
think
have your
Norm's the
question.
one that needs to answer your
Norm,
questions.
yeah, that's
having your
where the
questions
answers
answered
come
would
from.
give you either one, validation, if you think something's wrong, or two, give you an explanation as to why things are different than what you think. I looked at a couple that I was surprised that the whole area had a reduction. And they showed me the whole reason why. So, and I just asked him to get the
Yeah, okay.
explanation. But, and maybe, and then once you talk with him, if you wanna go further, then just let me know who you like to
Okay.
bring in, even if it's someone from
Yeah.
Department of Revenue.
Yeah.
Especially if you've done all that work, I think that's the person you need to ask, is the person that
Yeah.
can explain
And
it.
maybe it's.
And then maybe there is
You're
an
right,
explanation.
but it's usually, I mean, there's a chunk of people that went down as well.
But I know, there's one town on the coast that's doing another reevaluation because so many people complain about it,
Hampton.
But if you,
because I read it in the paper.
right, so if you have a problem with yours, and it's kind of repeating what Iris said, and bring it in and,
But I don't have a problem
oh,
with
not
mine.
you, no,
No,
I'm somebody.
I don't have an issue
Yeah.
with the dollar amounts on my readout. I mean, I think it's fair. What I find disheartening is the fact that it doesn't appear that the rules were applied fairly across the board, because I can look at other people in the area that I live in, and I've looked at other areas too, and it's like people threw darts at a dartboard and say, well, this is this, this is this. It doesn't seem, there's no rhyme or reason to how these things were applied, and it just makes no sense to me. And I'm a very logical thinker because that's my background. I just worked with data, I wrote code, and you had to think logically, and you had to, and to me, it would make sense that things were applied across all of Hillsborough, but it doesn't appear that that happened, and I just, I question it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
just,
so many different
there's-
neighborhoods.
yeah, but anyway, so,
Well,
I'll,
Norm's the one that's gotta answer those
yeah,
questions.
I will talk to them,
Yeah.
I'll come in.
Yeah.
I'll gather a bunch of stuff that I have and we'll go through it.
Yeah, and then sit down with them.
Okay, fair enough.
So concerning my opinions or comments during public comment area, can I sit with Rich and do this all at once instead of having a separate meeting with Norm? I mean, I've got a whole slew of things, I didn't go through all of them, but I've got a lot of slew of stuff that I've been evaluating since Diane gave me the lists. So can we do it all in one shot and be efficient with Norm's time?
Well, if you have specific questions on specific properties, and it sounds like you have a general question as to why is this the way it is.
But I have specifics too.
It's up to
but
you.
they're different than
You
hers.
guys wanna get together? and
Yeah, once
Yeah.
we're ready, maybe we can come in that way.
But
'Cause
just
I
let
like-
me know, don't
yeah.
just, so I can let
I-
him know that you.
I will
yeah.
let you set it up. I will let you know when
Do
I
you
can
wanna
come
wait
in.
till yeah, let me know when
I will
can
let you come in, I will let you when I can come in, and maybe, you can even sit in too if you want.
I don't know.
Okay, no, that's
Only
fine.
because that's, if it's a day that I have that time to sit down, I'll
I just
certainly
wanna
do it. 'Cause
understand.
I've gotten involved with some of the things that
Yeah.
Riche has sent in because,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, and,
And it's not like those
It's
weren't
just-
legitimate concerns.
well, the whole changing of addresses, saying that
Well,
they
she
were
could,
changing addresses.
I didn't
That's not-
say, I asked. I asked
okay.
for clarification on it.
don't
I did not
want to go
accuse.
back and forth.
Okay,
But
we'll talk about it within a couple of weeks.
Okay, let me know,
Okay,
and
fair
then I'll make sure that
Fair
Maureen
enough.
puts aside that time.
Okay.
And then if the board, then we'll go from there as.
Yeah, that's
bring it
fair.
before the board.
Okay,
The only thing where are we with John Penny's project? Are we-
Ooh, mobilization starts Monday,
Oh, really?
yeah. So, he got served with the 2-week notice, just to let him know we were mobilizing in 2 weeks. He said, you're not tearing down a barn, you're tearing down this is a 2-family. Then he stated that he had left messages for Mary and I in the welfare department, which he hasn't. It's amazing how many times I read, nobody there calls us back, and I go around and I hear that, or someone shows me that, because I don't follow the non-official Facebook pages. I ask everyone here, did you get a message from someone? No. I'm like, who? I don't know who they're calling, but John didn't call us. And so, in welfare, it wouldn't matter anyway. It has nothing to do with this. The police we will probably have to have police detail there, because just in serving the notice, we brought police with us, and he was trying to go out. We do have to there's a dead tree there, that overhangs the sidewalk, as well as the neighbor's property, that we're gonna be taking down. It's hollow, and, yep, so within the next
Monday.
couple of weeks, mobilizing Monday.
Mobilizing.
And we've got trash haulers ready, because we'll be bringing in those to put the debris in. So he's had 2 weeks. The contractor is more than happy to pull out. Apparently he's got a Torino down in the lower level and stuff like that. Happy to pull that stuff out so that if he wants to keep it, but other than that, things are going along with the building. You know, we've worked 3 years with him to start fixing it
yeah,
or
no.
getting stuff out, and so yeah, that's where we're at.
And then fight begins trying to recoup the money.
Well, and I don't think we'll ever,
Yeah, that's our
I
problem.
don't think we're gonna, yeah, but you know, it's unfortunate because, legal issues like that, it just,
Oh, yeah.
it's, and we have liens on the property, but you see the condition of the property, I don't know what it looks like inside, if he sells. So he stated he wanted to sell it. He wanted, us to consider erasing the lien so that he could sell it and make some money and move out of Hillsborough. And I told our attorney, we're not interested in that unless he brings forward a purchase and sales. And the people who built the duplex next to him, the Knights, wanted to buy his property. So we put the two of them in contact, gave John another couple weeks to get a purchase and sales together. And that didn't happen. So we said, okay, we're moving forward. We can't keep doing this. And
Right. Oh, no,
yeah.
yeah,
And the other one, the diesel place,
yeah,
that he does not want to go to court. So he met with Mike, so our attorney said, you know, he wants to come into compliance without going to court, which is great. We've only tried to get that how many times, but that's great if we don't have to continue to go through court. So Mike met with him today. He's already done some of the work. He did let Mike finally into the other property that he has, so that Mike could see that he's not leasing it out. And that, could have done that a long time ago, and that would have prevented that. So we'll see. Mike has another meeting with him, I believe in 2 weeks, to see if he's made a substantial amount of
yeah.
change.
Okay,
So,
no, I was just curious.
yeah.
I'm good.
I would say Rich looks like he just got an idea.
I wonder, there's a real quick, the committee that I was on for Deering, withdrawing from Hillsborough Deering, has been disbanded. We recommended that they don't withdraw, and we're done.
So how does that, I don't want to, something at home too, but, so you recommended that they don't withdraw, but before you were saying that financially it made sense for them.
Yes,
So if the recommendation is not to,
withdraw.
can they still move forward?
They
and-
could if they want to,
Okay,
but,
so that's,
I mean, there were 7 board members, 5 were there, and we voted 5-0. Because they got what they wanted. There were two warrant articles that they wanted passed. They were both passed, so it's set. They told us ahead of time that if those two passed, they would vote in favor of not withdrawing.
what were the warrant articles?
The changing of the select board member, the Deering representative, would only be voted by Deering and Hillsborough.
Mhm.
And changing the formula to apply the state aid before the split rather than after the split.
So does that,
That means taxes are gonna go up in
in
Hillsborough.
Hillsborough?
Yes, by a fair amount, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
School board meeting said $750,000 difference is what we're gonna have to make up now. That's huge.
So,
But it's not 5 million, right? Was it 5 million they were talking about before, the committee place?
well, if they had withdrawn, they contributed 5 million to our budget. So we would have had to cut 5 million out of the Hillsborough budget
Okay.
just to stay level. So anyway, for now, that's done.
Anything else?
That's it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
8:46.
8:46.